Feed me.
Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more. The Ryback Show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show. I'm your host, the big guy Ryback. Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. We are streaming on Instagram, Facebook at Ryback Reeves, Twitch at Ryback Rules, here at Ryback TV on YouTube, and live on X Spaces. Thank you to those of you that join on the show. Today, guys, no plugs up front. We're going to right into the show today in memory of Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotundo. And if you guys want to call in as well and share any memories, your favorite memories with him, favorite matches, anything that you feel like you want to talk about, please feel free with everything. Yesterday, I was working out and getting towards the end of my leg workout, and I saw a comment on YouTube. Someone said something about Bray Wyatt passing away, and I didn't take it seriously, thinking there's no way. Just talking about him yesterday earlier in the show, and had talked to people prior that I know that like he was. I was aware a little bit of kind of what was going on. I didn't dive too far into it, but I was of the understanding that that everything was good. And so I just thought maybe it was just somebody trolling or whatever. And I type in his name, and I see the Hunter Triple H tweet on X on Twitter, and just shock. And still I'm in shock and disbelief, and sat there for a bit and like trying to like understand like what the hell happened or what was going on. And I was able to talk to Joe Henning, who is one of his best friends, if not his best friend, and Curtis Axel. A lot of you may know him, and talk to him for a little bit. And he was having a rough go at things, as we all are. But I mean, he was as close with him as anybody over all the years. And even though they weren't around each other as much, all of us, because when you're away and whatnot, but he, and kind of just everything going on. And I can't believe it. Then shortly after I talked with him, and he had to get going. It's going to be really tough on him. He got going, and but I saw that it came out of what happened, which I'd heard about, and before the things had came out, and it sucks. I feel for his family, for Bo, for JoJo, his ex-wife Samantha, his mother and father Mike, whom was always great to me up there and with all of them. And it's just shocking. And I think everybody's in a state of disbelief. 36 years old, and I don't know, heart attack, heart failure. It's something that just makes you kind of just go, what the hell's going on? And sucks. So, but talked to a few of the guys yesterday. A lot of us, we came up together in Florida Championship Wrestling, and so like everybody you're going to hear, everyone's going to just like, and for me, I always like just sharing positive stories and like memories. I've always, and that helps, kind of cope with the situation and remembering them in a good way. I've got a Fiend shirt behind me here on the chair that I'll keep in here forever. I ordered a Bray Wyatt. I don't order figures or anything. I was like, shit, I want a Bray Wyatt figure, and I'm hanging it up in here. That'll be in hopefully next few days. Just little things, but like we all came up together from developmental. But everybody you're seeing is sharing all these things, and it's not, it sucks that sometimes when somebody passes away, but like this is how we all feel all the time about, not just only each other, but him. Nobody's going to have a bad thing to say about him. He was loved by everyone, like universally. And that's why I was always kind of, you guys hear me talk on here, when I see like the dirt sheet bullshit And I tell you guys passionately, like, don't fucking believe this shit. Like, it's because I fucking know the guy. We all know the guy. And it's like, that's why I was trying to say, like, don't believe the lies that come out on different things and people. It's not fucking true. He's one of the greatest guys, nicest guys in the world, on top of being one of the most talented. And so, and this is what happens, with it. So it's like, fuck, think about that. But we all came up together from developmental, and we all have our stories of when we met each other, and like me, him, and Bo, I feel for, I can't even imagine with everything. Just it doesn't feel right. Like, it doesn't feel like this was the way he was supposed to go. But ultimately, with God, it's not our call on that, and there's other plans at play, and all we could do is remember him in the best light possible. And hopefully tonight, I'm looking forward to seeing what WWE. I talked with Wade Stu a long time yesterday. We were going back and forth all throughout the day and night, and a couple other guys, and just sharing stories, laughing, about everything and our different things with him. And he was saying he thinks they're going to do a really good deal for him tonight. I expect nothing less, especially him being under contract and coming back. Where usually when guys are gone or something, they'll you might get the 10 bell salute or the little photo or a video package, but hopefully the whole show is something very special tonight, and I'll be watching, and hopefully Raw too. I wouldn't, it's not my call on any of that, but he was loved by everybody, just so you guys know on that. And it's but you start together like in developmental, and we all have like our different stories and everything. And it's just I just like yesterday and like even today, I'm just trying to go back and remember, like, there's so many moments you have with so many people, and then things just start popping in your head, and then like you're sharing stories with the other guys, and like then you'll think of something different, and like you remember a different time that you might have forgotten about, or you know what I mean. So it's just absolutely shocking, though, in 36 years old. And the wrestling in the grand scheme of things, and I know you guys all know him from wrestling, and his career was absolutely amazing. And like, but there was so much more that he was going to do with that. But it's life, the family and the 4 daughters, and leaving behind everybody. That's that's what you think about in this. None of the other shit matters in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't matter. It's the family and then the friends, and but all we could do is remember him in a positive light. And hopefully, man, that show should be something special. That you guys are going to see everybody. Hopefully people get to share stories. And I remember him. I put a tweet about earlier today. He loves to laugh, man. And I've got pictures of him. I had to find a photo on my old phone. I had a photo from him that he let me take of him when he was Husky Harris, and he got set back down in developmental. And I was down there after Nexus, my ankle injury, and he was down there. It was a TV taping, and it was after the shows were all over, and he was by one of the practice rings at FCW in the back. And I never posted the photo, and I sent it to Stu. Wade wanted to see it because he hadn't seen it in a while. But we all have photos of each other just being silly at different times, and randomly you'll send. I'd randomly would send Bray that photo over the years, and that's the thing. Bray always texts me back too, no matter how long we've gone without talking. I was telling Wade Stu yesterday. I go, fuck. I remember years ago I was in line at Honey Baked Hams like for Thanksgiving, like the day before, and the line was really long. I was picking up a ham. And I just randomly just sent Bray that photo. and I just said, I'll never forget. But it's him like kind of being like Chris Farley with his finger on his lip, like kind of in a seductive manner around the ring post, just wearing a pair of trunks. And, just stuff like that. Like we were always making each other laugh. So that was like everyone has stories like this with him, but like he always would just say, I remember one time at a live event, I was walking around in shorts, and I've got big calves. You can see them, I guess, if I wrestle. My boots, I've got the low cut boots, but I've got big legs. My calves, but I've got defined calves. I always have. And I don't know if he'd never noticed my calves before, but he go, holy shit, Skippy, you've got perfect calves. They're like meaty calves, and like the whole show. He just like kept saying, he goes, God, I wish I had your calves. And like, but like little things like that, like he'll hone in on something, and like, but he really meant it. He loved my calves on that. But like until we worked together, I got to work with him a lot over the years. And as Ryback and him in WWE with him and as Bray Wyatt. And we had a program with a pay-per-view, but we got to work together on live events for quite a long time, for months. And sometimes like your angle will be over on for TV or pay-per-view, but you'll stay on the live events. So I got to work him for a good period of time, but we did tag matches too. After, like, I remember going on a European tour with me and the Usos versus the Wyatt family, just every night on those European tours. Like, so when not only are you I was around each other, but you get to work with someone for a good period of time. You get to know him pretty well, and he always took care of me and vice versa. Like, just always was a pleasure. The easiest guy to wrestle in the world. And that's one of the cool things about when you're like, I talk about being from developmental together, you have a bond with the guys that you come up with because you've seen each other. You guys were all very similar in that we're a group of guys that just really loved wrestling, that had the ambition and the drive to go for our dreams. It's kind of like, and to give this, and this isn't the perfect analogy, but kind of, there's a lot of guys that don't fucking make it. And so you're in developmental, and it's kind of like, and it's not the same thing, but I'm just trying to give you an analogy, going to war. And it's like, who's going to fucking make it, and who's going to come out and stick together, who's going to survive. And then there's many that don't make it, unfortunately. Right. And that's kind of like, it's a cutthroat environment at times. And with WWE, you get a big pool of talent, and we had a really big class of people. We had a lot of guys that fucking made it, which isn't common. Usually just a few people make it out of every class. And we had a big fucking group from our FCW class of guys that we all go and training all day together, eating lunch together, driving to towns at various times together, just going out together at different times. And so like, there was that group of us that made it and had our success in all our own different ways with everything. And it's, but to get to wrestle and be around him, for prolonged periods of time. And, he would just to share some, he'd come find me at live events. I always like to warm up really good and get pumped. And I'd be doing my push-ups and my bands, and I'd be doing different like stretches and warm-ups. And he was a little more simple at times. And he would just come find me at shows, and not every show, but a lot. He'd come find me, and it was an amateur wrestling deal where you go back and forth with underhooks, and you're banging each other chest to chest back and forth, and you get kind of a rhythm going, and you pick up the speed. But we're like two big guys going, and he would just come find me. He'd be like, Skippy or Ryback, let's go. And he needed to get warmed up, and he knew that I was good to go at any time. And so we'd boom, 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 knock it out for 2-3 minutes, get blown up, and he would just take off. He was ready to go. So it's like, you just remember little things like that over the years. I've talked about it on here too before. He loved to try to get me to crack when we were in the ring. And even and vice versa, because he's a serious character most of the time, all the time, outside of the latest Bray, the Firefly Funhouse Bray. But there was one time we locked up, and I put this on Twitter, and he just goes, you've got perfect nipples. And then he started tussling around really aggressively. So we start tussling around, going back and forth in the ring on the lockup. And it just, meanwhile, I'm fucking laughing. It caught me off guard. That was by far completely out of left field. I wasn't ready, but a fan had told him prior to the match that I had perfect nipples on the outside, and he waited to fucking tell me that on the lockup. So it's like that always just something. It was always the thing. We'd see each other, and he'd just say perfect nipples or something, And we all have our stories with him. Like, you're going to hear a million of them tonight, and all for a long time to come with it. So he was he was one of the really, really, truly, truly great ones. And hopefully he's I don't like to speak early. I saw people already posting pictures, and I think I personally I agree with this wholeheartedly. Is I hope he headlines going into the Hall of Fame next year. So He's going to be greatly missed, though. And it's cool to see everybody, sharing all the kind words and everything about him. Super chat, I'll never forget the way he smiled when I met him. There's a lot of cool stories. Grim of the GTS toy show shared a story about fans and how people tweeted him. They didn't have money for one of the shows and he got them tickets. And, it's things like that a lot of people don't hear about. The guys that we're all very similar in that way of like, he's one of the really good ones and just has a kind, genuine heart. You know him from what you see on TV. It's such a small part, but all of us, like the guys, we all are like all guys that grew up, kids loving wrestling. He grew up in the business, uh, being third generation, but we all we all have a love for wrestling and a bond in that. And we all had a respect and have a respect for each other because we had the courage and the drive to go for it. And then, you have an even greater bond with the guys that make it together and a greater bond of the guys that make it and survive together up there. And I always remember, there's something, I remember him getting on an airplane and we were talking about contracts and he just signed another contract. And he was like, this is my last deal of being a good soldier. And that was when I was still there. I think he signed a new deal, like a 3-year deal or an extension or something. But that word good soldier is a word that's used often. That was his last deal, kind of being a good soldier before then, as his next one was a massive one compared because of the Fiend. And, he held true to his word. Like he was playing a good soldier with them. And because, they'll kind of do what they do on the contracts at different times. But he waited and he got himself in a nice position of power. And fuck, man, he had so much success. So thank you for the super chat on here. We're going to get Shawnee. I see Shawnee on here. We'll get Shawnee on the show. The dude 87 says, hey, Ryback, what are your thoughts on smelling salt? I see a lot of weightlifters using them in the gym. Rest in peace, Bray. Thank you, bud. Yeah, I have used them very few times. I never needed them. I don't really, and I've done some pretty big lifts, been around some really strong people. Everyone's kind of an individual on that. And I get it does. I mean, they do. You take a big sniff, it hits you with that. But at the same time, you like on a lift, I like you got to be focused and concentrated, and a lot of it's just confidence of knowing you could do it. But people get crazy. I think sometimes with that stuff you can get too aggressive, where then your form can be sacrificed, where you're just and then you're on a squat, you might be descending too quickly because you're just so amped up, and like where you need to be controlled and everything locked in. And so I have done them a few times, but I never really, I don't really, haven't done them much more, and I'd prefer not to do them. Let's get Shawnee on the show here. I'm sure Shawnee has a lot to say. Buddy, how you doing?
Big guy, happy Friday, man.
Happy Friday, buddy. How are you?
I'm sorry for your loss, brother.
No, it's everybody's loss. So it's everybody's, I think we're going to see how loved he really was, and hopefully that's why I was getting mad though on this shit when I was trying to tell some of not you, but the show, with all the bullshit with the dirt sheet stuff and like the things that people were coming out, the creatively difficult or over the months, and like the guy was fighting for his fucking life. It's just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I get 100%. Mad when I think about that because I was like, now he's gone. So, but
one thing was right though, you do have perfect nipples, I gotta say.
I never thought about it until he pointed it out, but they would pop out of that singlet from time to time. And I lost it when we locked up, but he knew the moment I lost it on the lockup, he started tussling around so that we had to start moving, and he'd start like whipping his hair around. And so he always reminded me too, like he had those Chris Farley quick mannerisms at times when he would like, he was such a character, man.
Do you, big guy? Were you close with Brody Lee as well, or
Yeah.
did you have kind of the same relationship as Bray?
Yeah, I got along with Brody really well. I posted pictures. We went bowling together one time, and he brought his son, and we were having drinks, and we had a bowling bet because I was talking shit to him that I was better at him than bowling, and so but I lost the bet. He kicked my ass. I bowled the worst game I've ever bowled, and it was in some shitty lanes in Albany.
Oh my god!
But he kicked my ass. But his kid, we made a bet for money. So his kid, he gave the kid all he gave little Brody all the money, and there's a picture of little Brody just holding all the money. But he had his son was wearing a Ryback shirt. Like it was yeah. But it was I always felt bad. I told you, I don't know, I didn't tell you this. I talked about it on the show. One of the things that always bothered me, because me and like Brody, we talked a bit, not like a ton, but enough. Like randomly when I was gone years ago, just before he passed, we talked one night for a long time on the phone. Hadn't talked to him in a while, but we would text here and there, and as you do with a lot of the guys. When you're gone, you're not around as much,
Of course,
with that.
It's like anything, yeah.
But you pick up kind of where you left off, and that's like I was saying, Bray. Like anytime I'd ever text him, there was a thing him and Taylor Bo would always do in developmental. It was with Dr. Tom. They started because they're kind of country boys, and it was a little game that was called horse eating corn, and they'd come up behind you and they'd take their hand and like right into your thigh, right above your ass, like in the horse eating corn, and grabbing, like startle you. But they'd grab you really hard, the big, strong guys, man. So this started in developmental. So if anybody was slacking or not paying attention, somebody would come up behind you and scare the shit out of you and like grab you like right underneath like your ass, right into your thigh meat. And just as hard as it, just grab and go, horse eating corn, like right in your ear. Holy shit, man.
I'm guessing because you could get a Charlie horse that way, so that's why they call it that, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was that. God damn, that thing was going around developmental. We were always on the lookout. Like you couldn't trust anybody. But look, those fuckers got that started down there.
They used to do that in my baseball team. They used to, so like if you weren't paying attention or something, like the kids, like they would knee you in your upper quad.
Yeah. Dead leg.
Oh my god! If you get hit there in the right spot, you're dead leg. Easy.
That's what that was. We called it, people in school, dead leg, where they'd come up and knee you and dead leg you. Oh, yes. I hated that game.
It was the worst. Me too. I hate that game.
Bro, the things we did as kids, if that was going on now, would be like crazy.
Oh, forget about it. It'd be like bullying, forget about it, man. Those dead legs taught me to watch my surroundings.
Yeah, taught me a valuable lesson. But like that's the stuff that they would do in developmental. People too, like they had one of my fondest memories of them and all of us. They threw they were Taylor and Wyndham were Bo and Duke. They were a detective gimmick in Florida Championship Wrestling for a while. And they threw a Bo and Duke bash. They threw the best parties. And this one particular year, I've talked about it before on here, they threw the Bo and Duke bash Halloween party. The requirement was you could not come to the party unless you dressed up as a wrestler, whether of the past or current. Like, but this is like shit. Like we all had just such a great bond down there, and like everyone just loved and respected them, and like just such great fucking guys. And
do you remember who you guys dressed up?
Yeah. Regrettably, so I didn't want to dress up. I was in. They were on Bo and Wyndham. That was like I was like I just want to fucking come to the party. I go, I'm a fucking grown up. I don't want to get a costume. And he was like, Ryback, you can't come unless you have a Halloween costume. And like, just go find something. He's like, I want you to come. And so I go, fuck. I go, who the fuck am I? I didn't have a costume. I didn't buy anything online. I wasn't using Amazon at the time. I was like, what the fuck am I? Who am I going to go dressed up as? So I go to Walmart. And I've talked about, and all they had was John Cena. I had the spinner belt, and I had at home. I had from FCW. Steve Kern I had got a John Cena shirt from Kern, and went and got. I don't know if I had the spinner belt, the Cena spinner belt, and I had. There was another thing with Cena. I got had the shorts. So I fucking went as Cena to the party.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
the jorts. You wore the.
I had the fucking deal, and yeah, and they. But that was the requirement to get fucking into in the admission.
That's
so
great.
so everybody was, because I'm kind of like, I could be very social, but I'm antisocial as well. Like where like, and I was like, I was like, hadn't decided if I was going to go or not. And like, I'm like Frank the Tank. At that time I was like Frank the Tank. I was like, if I go to this, I'm going to get fucking destroyed. And like, I was trying to,
if you go all out.
but I love them so much. I was like, that's what I'm trying. I love them so much. I was like, I'm not going to miss the Halloween party for them. I'm going to, and sure enough, the first sip of alcohol that hit my lips, brother, it was so good. I just fucking started, before I knew it, Bray was fucking pouring me fucking Jack, and I was out back with Taylor chugging Jack out of the bottle. And like, one of the most I told you this story. So multiple things happened at this Bo and Duke Halloween party. One, and I don't know if somebody had drugs or not. There was something, I was beyond gone. Like, and I don't know, a lot of hard liquor was drank, and there were a lot of funny things that happened throughout the night. But one thing was, me and Wyndham, we chewed Grizzly tobacco at the time. I always loved the Grizzly Wintergreen with it.
Got it.
But they had this nice couch, or they had a recliner chair that they put out back for the party because they didn't want anybody to like get alcohol or to throw up on it. And like, it was like their chair, and like they both love sitting in the chair. And like so at some point in the night, Taylor like had told me like people were making their way out back, and Taylor goes, guys, please don't fucking nobody, please just stay away from the chair. And so, but I was so drunk, so all I heard was like, go sit in the chair. And fucking, but this is the relationship. We all got along so well. Like, but I got the Grizzly Wintergreen, and I was really drunk, and Taylor was like really concerned with me throughout the night because Taylor like had seen how much I was drinking. And like, I was like, I'm literally Frank the Tank that night, just kept fucking going and going and going. And like, so we're out back, and I put a dip in, and Taylor's like, Ryback, I don't think, or Skippy, I think I was Skippy at the time, Skip Sheffield. Skippy, I don't think you should do that dip. And I was like, don't fucking tell me what to do. And but, so this fucking chair that they have outside that they want everybody to stay away from, I get sick as fuck outside. I puke all over the chair, brother. Projectile, don't just completely lost it. So this happened, Bray, and this, but where I'm getting at with this story is just so people,
keep going. We love it, bro.
They're such good fucking people, though. Like, and we like, most people would have been like, and I'm sure they were furious. Don't get me, but like, they handled it very responsibly. And like later in the night, like we all had to get out of there. Had way too much to drink, and I've talked about it on the show. Like, it was just fucking. It was the best time, but way too drunk. And I remember I woke up the next day, like in my bed, like in Tampa, completely like, what the fuck happened? Like just nights. One of those nights, and then got filled in the next day. So when I see them on Monday at the school, and Wyndham and Taylor, and we were going over everything though, and they go, Skippy, you threw up all over our chair, and like, I'm so fucking sorry. So that day though, I go, what happened? I went and got cleaning supplies, and after practice, they let me go to their house. They weren't home. I went over there and cleaned the chair all off for them as good as I could. Man. And because it was like but it was like they were like very just, they knew it. Like, I can't explain it. Like, they're just such good guys. Like, some people would get really fucking mad over something like that.
100%.
And like,
that's like a big thing. Like, going over people's houses. Like, I always worry,
Yeah.
Like,
but we all got along so well, and they knew like everyone had too much to drink, and it was just, we all had like we all had a lot of respect for each other, and like, and cared about each other. And Taylor that night, even, I told the story, Taylor had he was out back in the front. We were all out front of their house towards the end of the night, and like me and Taylor would never in a million years ever would want to get in a fight. Like, always like just pleasant guys to be around. And Taylor, I think, was having a fight with his girlfriend at the time on the phone, and I didn't know that. But I was like just like stumbling around out front, like, and for whatever reason that night, because Taylor was on me from like out back, and I don't know if I felt like, because Taylor was a lot younger than all of us, so like, and I was like the older drunk brother at the time, like kind of, and like, so I was like, I don't know if I felt like in my head, not picking on him, but like kind of pushing his buttons. And like so he's in his car, sitting in the car, like charging his phone, talking in the passenger seat. But like, and I kept wanting to come, like, I don't know if I wanted to wrestle him or something, like in the front, like just completely just uncalled for though. And we joke about this all. Me and him. I always say, I go, thanks for not kicking my ass that night, man. I was like, I was done. Like there was. This just shows how patient like they all are. Like they're just such good human beings. But I like knocked the beer out of his fucking hand. I go, you fucking show me some respect. And he's like, Skippy, you got to go home now. And fucking Kalen Croft, I think my buddy Chris Pavone got me home. But all of us, the party was over. I think they wanted everybody to go, but everyone was hanging out. We all had they're just there for hours, man, having a good time. And like, there's multiple stories from that night from multiple people. Like, there was so much crazy shit, but that party was talked about for years of like all the chaos that happened. And it's actually amazing. Like, no cops came, and like everything was actually like pretty civil for how much. I mean, everybody was pouring alcohol down their throats all night. Like,
who was the best dressed? Do you remember?
Bro, dude, so many guys had, that's where I was like, Sheamus came as like Moondog, fucking, he had like, but people like invested like into costumes and like had like, I go, fuck. I was like, that day I'm at Walmart fucking buying jorts to fucking come.
And you show up with a John Cena's kids.
Yeah, everybody's coming from 80s and 90s and 1970s wrestlers, and I'm fucking modern day John Cena at the fucking, which was a rib in itself.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That was legitimately the only thing. I had the fucking shirt, and I go to Walmart, and I was like, I pieced it together. And but I didn't want to go though, because I didn't want to drink, and I knew. But I'm so glad that I did, because it's one of the best memories from Florida Championship Wrestling, and like just went, man. I just man that's why it's just tough when you guys in developmental, like it's not supposed to happen this young, you know.
No,
supposed to fucking get old together and see each other at fucking autograph signings fucking 30 years from now, or you know. But
somebody posted like just a regular mark in like some group that I'm in, posted like, oh yeah, I see all these statuses about people being gutted, like you didn't even know him, and I'm thinking in my head like, bro, like why do you have to write a status like that? Like what is it, like there are people that looked up to him and like, you know, and loved his performances and yeah, like you know, like someone like me who like I didn't really watch Bray, but I knew of Bray and like respected him. Like of course, like I'm you know, I'm not gonna cry. That's not, you know, I don't know him that personally, but like there are people that loved him and watched him and was a big fan of him. So if they feel like they're gutted by it, who cares? Like how does it affect your life? You know, and that like irks me so bad. You know, everybody grieves differently. You know.
Yeah. No, it's that there's. Wrestling transcends all things in just with life. And like, I remember being younger and different wrestlers motivating me. And that's all that I knew just from on TV, you know, and so everyone's going to have a different experience with that. We just gotta, the hate and negativity, there's no place for it at all. Or like, it's like we're all, it's just hopefully share good memories. Everyone's going to have, a fan is going to have a different viewpoint than somebody like me. And then, you know, his brother and his family are going to have an even different viewpoint than me and the fan. Exactly. Like we're all going to have only the experiences that we have had around him and that we know. And just, I just choose to think of, you know, and it's just all good memories I have of them and the different things. And that's all we can do. I'm not going to acknowledge no hate or negativity or anything. There's no fucking time for it with any of this.
Of course, not even a little bit.
But, you know, I remember, there was a time, I think because I drove alone, you know, outside of when I drove with Cody and Daniel Bryan and Cesaro for a bit. And then I went off on my own. But I think Bray, I don't know if it was during the loop we were working each other, one of the loops we were working each other, or we were just on the same live event. And I always had my car. And I remember there were sometimes we'd have to fly into an airport. But we'd have to then make like a 2-hour drive or a 2.5-hour drive if it was like a show in the middle of nowhere. Like that would happen on rare occasion or on some occasions. And so for whatever reason, he didn't have a ride. He got in before other people of his crew were getting in. And I got in like the same time. And so we ended up riding. I go, you just ride with me. We were just so we were going to whatever the town was from the airport where we got in. And it was in the middle of nowhere. But we were starving, and it's just funny how you remember random things. And so I just remember me and Bray are driving in the middle of nowhere, and like we're both talking about how hungry we were looking for food. and there's nothing. And randomly in the middle of nowhere in Shawnee, there's nothing else around. There was just this really nice Italian pizzeria that like nothing else by it, just this Italian pizzeria. And we're like, well, fuck.
Like in the middle of nowhere.
And me and Bray enjoyed a nice fucking pasta lunch together. This middle, and we're just talking like, how the fuck is this place just like no gas stations? It was just an Italian pizzeria, no town by it. It was just like in the middle. But like that always stuck in my head of like just us laughing together and having a nice lunch together. And then I was telling Chris Pavone, he was part of the Dude Busters with Trent Beretta. He and we all were really close in developmental. And
thanks for explaining stuff to me, big guy, because I don't know a lot of it.
Yeah, no, so I was just so because some people might not know him off the top of their head. He was up there for a little period, but not a long time. But he was in developmental for a long time. He's well known amongst all of us. Like,
got it.
Yeah, but he was just sharing a story about him. There's a pizza, West Shore pizza place on the street, West Shore in Tampa, and he goes, it reminded him and Bray were on their way to go because you'd eat with different guys at lunchtime, different times. Like all of us, we'd mix and match who we'd go out with at different times. And whatever, this was him and Bray were going to go get pizza one time, and it was Bray's cheat day. And he said Bray was like a little kid in the passenger seat, like doing little jigs, like fucking, like he was so pumped up for this. He goes, so every time he drives by the West Shore Pizza, he just thinks of Bray doing this little jig in the car and just like, but that's like the shit, like just all the little things you remember from when we're all around each other. And
it's so true, man. Like you think of the great memories that happen, like and be great and be grateful for them. I think a lot of people in general, I think, and I'm guilty of it too, is like we are I think a lot of us we don't really take for granted about the loved ones that we have around us.
Yeah.
And like I have friends that their dad, they passed away when they were 2, and I'm lucky I still have my dad,
Yeah.
And
I think about that all the time too.
Yeah, same here. Like I always, every time I leave my parents, I say I love you, or my wife, or my kids. Like, and I think that things like this make us feel that sensation of like what if this was our brother, right? Like what if, it's just, he was 36 years old and a healthy human being, like for the most part, like from what we all know, you know, and
I never knew him to have any health issues, but I don't know his medical records, obviously.
Yeah, we don't know the background, but like for the most part, he's wrestling on TV and stuff. Like, so he had to be somewhat healthy to get cleared and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and that's what they said. That's what I was talking with Joe, and before it came out, which I don't know how it came out. I know the SAP guy had put in. I don't know.
SAP put it out. Yeah, I saw that.
And I don't know if the family or what, but like I talked to Joe, and it was like, keep it private. I was like, yeah. And then hours later, it's all fucking on the internet. I just go, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's like, I'm posting this with permission or whatever.
So I hope to God he did. But it was just, I don't know if he got cleared a week or two ago or whatever it was, and everything, and then then he passes away.
It's just fucked up.
So I don't know how you get cleared and everything's good, and it's just.
Well, the day before my grandfather died, my dad spoke to him, and he just went to the heart doctor, and he was fine. He got a fully cleared. He was 56 years old at the time in 1994, and the next day he passed away of a heart attack. So you just never know with these things. I
know but he always worked out really hard. He'd lost a lot of weight at different points too. I always remember, I remember just live events, like you go find a gym and just randomly, I remember seeing him working out. I remember it was when I don't know if they wanted him to lose weight or he wanted to lose weight. And I remember he was just like pushing himself really hard. He was always in the gyms and just like, cause I was always in there for hours. So I just remember like, I'll go, he's turning it up. And like, and whenever he put his mind to something, he was able to do it. But like,
I feel like he was always in pretty good shape, though. Even when he was bigger, I feel like he was in great shape.
Yeah, he had good cardio. He played football, man. He came from football, so like he was able to go. And had an amateur wrestling background too, if I'm not mistaken. He was just a bigger guy. But he was one of those. It's funny. He would on NXT, and everyone fucks with him. We joke about him, but when he was Husky Harris. He was one of his lines. I think he said I don't know if he said he was a tank with a Ferrari engine, or like it was like it didn't, the line didn't get over in NXT though, but like it's a great line, but that is what he had though. He was a tank with a Ferrari engine or a Hummer, whatever the fuck. I just remember it was something with a Ferrari engine. Yeah. I think it was a tank with a Ferrari engine, but it never quite took off. But it was like, it's a very true. That's how he was though. He was like, and so his cardio was never an issue or anything. I'm like, and two, he always people will hear like the creative part. He was a creative genius. He was very, he was able to create an original character that had never been done. And of course, people are always going to compare things and like, there's no replacing the Undertaker. There were that, but he was able to come in and create Bray Wyatt and become Bray Wyatt in a very quick period of time and get insanely over. And then actually, multiple renditions of the character, and then coming back, from the Wyatt family and then, kind of being a little bit on his own with Bray Wyatt, and then going into the Fiend, and then having the level of success, and just
he got other people over too, like Alexa Bliss, right? He got her over. He got I saw that guy Eric Redbeard in person.
Eric Rowan, yeah. My heart goes to him, brother. I can't even imagine what he's going through. He was.
Oh my God, bro! I was just thinking about that this morning. Like, this guy lost two of his best friends.
And I think about the Wyatt family, in that, like, I go, fuck, so young, and Braun was a part of it on the latter end of it, but the original Wyatt family of the three of them. Of it's like, fuck, how is fucking Luke or Brody and Bray gone already? It's like it wasn't that long ago, It was 10 fucking years ago. We were 8 years ago. We were 8 years ago, 7 years ago, working together every night. It's like
100%. I saw that guy Eric at a show, local show by me. He is a big summer bitch,
he
man.
Is.
Oh my Huge. God. I don't get, like, even with tall people, like, I'm usually like, all right, well, he's tall, but he is like just a huge human being, man. Like,
he's great with his body too. I had to wrestle him on live events. He used to let me pick him up and stalk Shawnee. He's huge. You've seen him.
I've seen him. He's absolutely monster.
He would let me pick him up every night, installing vertical. I would hold him up for 30 seconds sometimes up there. He was so good with his body. He was able to, like, stay vertical for me, and I was strong enough to lock in and hold him in place, and people would lose their shit because he was so fucking big and, like, picking up, like, but he was just, man, all of those guys were so cool. Like, they just go, they'd give everything. I remember I was with Bray for so many live events and TVs, and, like, always, no matter how beat up we were, I was always like 100%. He was 100%. Like, let's just give it everything we got. Like, that's his mentality.
To that big guy, like those, like picking up another big guy. Is it like them like giving you like their weight or something? Like
the what now? Picking up other guys.
Would say, like, Andre would, like, if he didn't want you picking him up, he wouldn't get picked up. Like,
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? Like,
it's all just balance and timing on a lot of it, but you've got to be really strong also. Like, the strength, and so, like, not anybody else is doing that with those guys, but they trusted me enough, but I knew how to. It's timing and it's balance. Like, on stalling verticals on that stuff, it's getting the guy's weight and then picking them up, and then letting the weight, like, I would keep my left arm really tight to my body to where my shoulder wasn't, like, it wasn't putting any strain on my shoulder, and they were able to, like, get their hand on my hip, and their body was, like, nestled into my shoulder and chest cavity, where, like, the weight in my chest was able to, like, hold them up. Without me having, so their weight is balanced into me. And then I would take my head and I would brace them with my head and my neck. And I'd have them locked in, and I didn't have to hardly do anything now. But if they can't stay straight, I would use my arm to keep them and kind of brace them. And then I could control them back and forth to a degree. But if they weren't good with their bodies and their weight started coming forward, like, there's no, like, you're going to end up coming down. There's no way, because he's just so fucking big. So they were so good, and they can lock themselves into position, man. Like, they were all great with their bodies, all of them, all three of them. Braun too, man.
Unreal. Yeah. I get the chills. Like, I watched the video of the first time that they came out, and I get the chills hearing, like, the little kids sing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, something about horror movies and, like, having children sing, like, these, like, children's songs. It's, like, so creepy, There's something about it.
There were so many great things. His feud with Cena, with that when they did all of that, and then one of my favorite things when I was gone though was seeing him and Cena do that the Firefly, was it the Firefly Funhouse match? Funhouse match.
That was at Mania, right?
Yeah.
During the pandemic.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was so creatively well done, and like this, and I know Cena put out a thing on it, and I just remember I just remember thinking this is fucking great. That was so much of Bray's doing. That's just out like the way, and Cena had worked with him and trusted. And like I told you guys before, like Cena, once he knows you and builds up some trust, he lets you creatively start getting involved much more. And that was like doubt. That was fucking no doubt so much Bray on all of that. I'm sure Cena had great ideas for it as well, clearly. And
for sure.
But he let Bray's idea come to life. And it creates one of the most memorable moments. So it's like he paid his dues, man, and he worked his way. Like, he got sent down. A lot of people wouldn't. He's in rare company in the after NXT, and he got called up to the main roster. He had a deal where something in the ring with Cena where it didn't, like, I don't know if Cena wasn't happy with him or management, and he got sent back down to developmental. Most guys don't survive that after getting called up and then getting sent back down to developmental, either mentally or just whatever, or like they just fucking can't, like, they can't reinvent themselves. And he fucking took that negative and turned it into a positive and created the Wyatt family. And holy fuck, like, it just shows like he had a drive and a desire. And that's where, like, all of us from developmental, we've got to respect with each other, because like we made it, it's like, and there's like levels to this of like, there's so many guys like in developmental, hundreds upon hundreds and hundreds, not thousands as time goes on, that like they have a dream too, and they get there and they don't make it. And everything happens for a reason for everybody. Everyone has their own journey, but it's like there's a small group of us that like, fuck, we did it. We made it. And like we all have to deal with all our bullshit and everything, and all the sacrifices on the road, and everybody's miserable at different times, and like, so you live together you're closer with the guys on the road than you are with anything else in your fucking life.
100%.
So
you're with them all the time.
I think he had one of the greatest fucking comebacks of all time. The returns, I don't know. I think it's arguably, and I personally would say it's probably the best return of all time. If not, it's going to be a lot of people's. It's up there when he came back, and just the reception, after being released and coming back and getting another opportunity. And, it just, even though it was short-lived on it, but it's going to now forever be remembered very fondly, so.
Yeah, I see people compare him to The Undertaker. I never really got that comparison. Like, I never felt like he was like The Undertaker.
He wasn't, but I think it's the closest thing. It was just and he did it in such a unique, different way. It was a character with supernatural powers in a sense.
That's true.
But entirely different. That's where I think time, and luckily he had enough time to show his creativity and how the character was different. It's almost like, people just off the bat, Ryback Goldberg. But as time goes on, you can see differences. You go, wait a second. There's some distinct differences in these characters. With it, I didn't have the length of time necessarily. Bray was there longer and able to do more and did more and distinguished himself as an individual. And, but they do the thing where Undertaker gives him the rub. I'm very glad they got that moment. That will get to live on forever,
100%.
With that they did at the reunion show.
Who was his dad? Mike Rotunda.
He was IRS.
Oh, IRS. Yes,
yeah.
Thank you. Yes, IRS.
Erwin R. Shyster. And brother, he's one of my favorite.
Was that the name?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
That is genius.
Taxman. He was one of my favorite producers, though. He loves them so much. I feel for them. Like, I can't imagine losing Brett, like Wyndham and his son, like what they're going through. I just know that
is his brother, right?
Bo is his brother, yeah. Who was playing Uncle Howdy, which I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what's going to happen with him in WWE, and that's not none of my business. But it's just fuck.
Yeah, I saw something that they're gonna any merch that sells of Bray's is gonna go right to his family.
Yeah, so, which I'm very happy to hear that. And
yep.
That everything is. They've got their. I know Joe's going to be going down to Florida. He said. Because he's always been really close with them, and but all their families down there together, which is good, for the kids, at least.
Is that where he's from?
Florida, yeah. And I don't know where specifically. I know that I think they're from Brooksville, but I don't know if they still live there, or if they moved, if they live in a town around there. but
God,
they at least the family and everybody at the is all within the vicinity of each other where people aren't spaced out. But I'm sure that everyone's just in fucking shock. Like it
yeah, of
doesn't feel
course.
it doesn't feel real to me. I mean I can't tell you. I was literally working out yesterday and I had a few sets left and I just fucking was just sitting there in my gym and I just went and sat down and I'm just like I was like, there's no fucking way this happened. And like just like trying to like make sense of it all. And then I waited till Joe called me. He called me back and we talked for a while and he was fucking a mess. Just
It makes me
he's been
fucking.
through so
It's so
much, Joe,
sad,
with
man.
losing his dad and like, but then we know like the longer we live and the more the longer you're in this business, unfortunately, the more of this shit that's gonna fucking happen. It's just you don't expect it with the guys this age.
No, never. And even when it happens, I don't care if it's happened 100 times over. It's never any less surprising or upsetting. Like it's just nobody should have to bury their son or
No,
their brother and this is times that I kind of question things a little bit. But you got to keep the faith in everything, and I guess he was meant to be an angel for a reason. That's
yeah.
all. That's
There's never.
eh,
I just try to. I've always, and as I've gotten older and everything, and processing death, I just try to choose to celebrate it as much as possible. Like not celebrate death, but like look at the what positives can come from it, and remember the people in a positive light, and like what motivation can come from this of it. Like it's, but like I, it's something we're never going to understand. It's the for those of us that are here when we lose a close one or something, and then the missing them and the attachment factor. It's like it doesn't, too with a lot of fans, wrestlers. And this is why I try to tell people like we're all human beings.
yep.
Like that's where I say like all the shit talking and the fake lies out there and these people the creating hate, like man, just everybody that talks shit about this guy for the last 6 months and like take a look in the mirror and fucking think about it. What everything that's going on now and look at those people that are writing those articles and maybe question if you should be looking at that stuff if that's healthy for you with it.
Yeah, I remember even when he was in like when he was I guess out of like I guess he didn't sign the contract or whatever and he was out like and they were trying to re-sign him. I remember like all the shit that people were talking like
Yeah.
oh, he's overweight. He's not in shape. That's why he's not in the WWE. Like, just things like that, man. You don't like. I think sometimes
We
people
have to see
feel
all
like
that stuff, by the way.
that's what I mean.
Just imagine. So imagine he's out with his heart condition, and he's seeing everything about people saying he's. This is what I tell you, people,
Exactly.
and I was trying to fucking get this across at various points. Like it's not, guys, that's bullshit. Stop fucking listening to it. I've had to deal with it in different things. I just go and I go the people that know me. It's not true. Different things, and I can see when it's going on with other people. Like I just go
Yep.
because we all fucking know each other. Never once has that man ever been difficult. He's the
Yep.
easiest guy. Like, and we all creatively have different ideas and different things. He was beyond fucking easy to work with at all times. With it,
Yep.
always willing, and I always gave 100%. And this is you're going to hear this over and over and over again from people that know him and worked with him, with it. So it's like, are you going to believe the people that know him and worked with him, or people that have never fucking met him, creating lies to get clicks online, like because they,
Yep.
so. But
100%. 100%,
I
big
just
guy.
fuck, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do tonight, and
Yeah, I'm gonna. I have a question to ask you,
yeah.
big guy, about you. So one of my friends, Joey, he's a big fan of Ryback. So he loved the Ryback
Oh yeah.
tag team, and he sent me there's a breakup of Ryback promo, and he says that's one of his favorite promos ever. He says that's like legitimately. So he sent it to me to watch it, and he just wanted me to ask you about it. And the funny part is in that promo, you were like, "We'll get back together so we can lose." I started dying laughing. I was cracking up. What like? Can you just like tell us like what happened? What
Well,
went
that
into that
was
promo?
we did a lot of backstage promos together that they never put on TV. So even that breakup wasn't even aired on TV. That breakup was aired on .com. I had came back. I had my groin injury where I was gone for a couple months and came back. But they had me. We were a heel tag team together for quite a while for that year. And then when I came back, I was instructed. I was told that I'm returning back to babyface Ryback, and then I was going to be getting pushed again. So I had just gotten back that night, and I debuted against Bo Rotundo. Bo did like an open challenge in San Antonio. This was the following week. The week prior, I'd returned to an open challenge, which was an unbelievable experience in San Antonio. That next week, we were in Albany, New York, because I remember the locker room, I believe, was Albany, New York. And I was on TV. I might have did a match with Titus O'Neil and like a quick match with him. And then later they go, we need to do a pre-tape for .com explaining you guys have to break up. And so we did like tag teams are notorious like for like always having bad breakups or like one turning on each other. And like, so we were just like, can we just not turn on each other and like just have like an amicable breakup, like where we're like going our separate ways? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not? Because it wasn't on TV. So nobody like they didn't really have any directive of like Vince and them just wanted a fucking breakup for .com. So me and Axel brainstormed for 5 minutes before, and we did that all, brother. That was one take on the fly.
Bro, honestly, it's a great promo. I was cracking up. I'm like, man, most people just see muscles, but honestly, you were really good at the promo shit, man. Like,
oh, thank you.
I was impressed. I was really impressed. I was like, I was cracking up laughing, and it was like short and sweet. It was like 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is what wrestling is like to me, you know, like funny and like entertaining and like getting the point across at the same time. Like, I love that so much, man.
No, but that was a good memory, man. But I hope that's like that's one thing. If I ever have another tag team, I'm going to try to go my whole career and never turn on a guy where I just have amicable breakups with tag team partners, and like where my career's over and my legacy is that Ryback was the most loyal tag team partner. He never turned on.
What if they bring a 5-in-1 mixer, big guy?
We might have to turn on him. We might have to fucking shell shock him if that's the case. I'm trying to think like Bray. There's so many like just random like just different things with him over the years. So
yeah, I love it. Honestly, I can listen all day. I just sometimes I feel bad for taking up too much time on the show. You know.
No. Well, I purposely bring you on. Well, I know that I'm going to have a decent show with you on. It's that.
I know. But
if not, I'm going to have somebody on here fucking possibly going on how they thought he should have been pushed more or something like.
Maybe taking calls and I'll just sit in the
background. You're my like regrouper. Like if a call's going bad, I have to just keep you. I go back to you for a few minutes to get me picked. I get depressed when I get a bad call. It's like the guy yesterday. I told you, Ronaldo, great guy. I followed him back, but he subscribed to me, and then he just kept sending me picture after picture of Goldberg, of like Ryback and Goldberg, like over and over. Then he started DMing me all the pictures. Because I followed him because he subscribed, and I'm like, fuck, I can't take this. So like I had to get him on and just like I just try to explain to him like, please don't, like, you could send me a photo or tweet me, but like let's not do like 20 of them at once, please. And then he like it had the conversation. He goes, I understand. I go, okay, what's your question? And then it's like a Goldberg question.
He called you Goldberg a couple times.
Well, I think he's a modern day Goldberg or something. It was just,
exactly. I was cracking up. So. I'm like, oh my god, he's literally asking what he told him not to like.
Yeah, but somebody in the chat even like just goes, oh, that went in one ear and out the other. It was like he hears my voice, but he's just like, oh my god, Ryback's talking to me, but he's not actually hearing the words.
I felt like you handled that perfectly.
I could have been a tad little nicer, but I wanted to get the point across. Like, please don't send me.
I think you were nice enough, to be honest.
I wanted to explain it to him. I followed him back with everything because he goes, "Can you follow me back?" I go, "Yeah." If you send the pictures again, it's not worth the $5. Like, I'll take away the subscription, guys. I don't need the $5 that badly. I'll be okay. Like, let's like $5 doesn't give you an unlimited pass to message me nonstop. Like, it's not. I'm gonna have to raise that subscription price to like $49.99 a month if we're gonna, you know.
Comes with messages.
The full Ryback experience. They're like, "What's your number? Can I call you anytime during the day?" I'm like, God, brother, there's a lot of people subscribing now. We gotta.
So Matt and Brian did this a couple times early on in the major pod. They would sell their shirts or whatever, and then like the first like 50 people who bought the shirts, they would call the person and talk to them for like a minute, and that works well, but you just got to make sure that you block your number, because you never know who you're calling, right? So
wait, what's that? I'm sorry. On what now?
So on Zach and Kurt on the major pod, they like a couple times they had like sales of like shirts and like limited things. Like let's say you're selling your Feed Me More Nutrition, right, big guy?
Yep.
And you say, okay, the first 50 people that buy $100 worth, I'll call you and talk to you for your minutes. And they did that, and it was huge. And it's so funny. Some of the people that they end up talking to that day are now working for the major podcast.
Oh, wow.
Like they're doing their merch. Like one of the guys, Mike Kinnick, he actually like became their merch guy because he used that phone call to pitch them on doing their merch, and now he literally is like with them as like partners.
Oh man, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff, man. Just like me meeting you, like things like that. Like it happens for a reason,
Yeah, it's
like,
good, man. We've got a lot in common. We get along well.
100%. I can't wait to meet you. I feel like I know you, and I don't even know you. Like like that's how I feel.
I told you that I know that Vic Vegas. I worked together with him at the Monte Carlo. He does for people though. He's on the Food Network. Vic Vegas. He does the Bar Rescue show. He's the cook. He comes in to help with the cooks on the Bar Rescue show. And I've known him for many years. He was with me when I got signed in Tough Enough, but he has some restaurants in Vegas, and Sinful Subs is one of them. The Black and Blue Diner is another, but Sinful Subs is like they make these badass subs, like all these. They have vegan subs. They have all these regular, just like things that are really unhealthy, things that are healthier, and he still does things for the Food Network on that. But I was like, I could see us. I go, because that I used to watch that Man versus Food show all the time when I was a kid.
Yes, me too.
And I just picture me and you just like an Arnold and DeVito, like but big guys versus food, where it's like just me and you and like the muscle guy and the heavier guy going around. But we go and we have our personalities and we go and do these food challenges. And like
I could see it.
Big guys 100%. Versus food on the Food Network, just touring the world, going but we're absolutely horrible at food challenges.
I was gonna say because I'm out unless it's a dessert. I'm gonna be shit in the competition.
Just puking in the restaurants and like they're like, oh, these guys are nothing like the Man versus Food guy.
Yeah, I see these people eating like 20 hot dogs, and I'm like, after the third one, I'm about to throw up. I'm like, how do people eat these freaking hot dogs?
Dude, but my appetite now is very, very strong again. And but there was a period where I think it was after I did keto and I wasn't eating a lot of carbs for a period of time. And then when I started transitioning away, I remember me and this girl that I know that was in town, she went with me. We went to one of the local restaurants and she recorded, and I never aired it because I failed. I couldn't handle a large amount of food. I went and tried to do a food challenge where they give you like 20 different porks, like different sliders, but these sandwiches were huge. They weren't like little miniature sliders. They're not like little White Castle. These things were fucking huge. And there was so much carbs and fat, and you had to eat a big thing of fries. I literally ate like 2 sandwiches, and I was so sick because I wasn't eating a lot of food, and
your body was like shocked.
Yeah, and I told her, I was like, I don't know what's going on. I've never not been able to eat a lot of food, and I go, but I wasn't eating a lot of fats either, and like it was like I like literally was like nauseous like right away. I go, there's no way. I go, let's just stop, and we gave the food to a homeless person and called it a day.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
that's what I wish they would do with all the food that like if there's extra food, like give it away, if possible, right? Like that would be. I know a lot of restaurants just throw it out, but I wish that there would be some way that they could like distribute that extra food somehow,
Yeah. Somebody in the chat just made a comment too on tonight's show. I am curious how they're going to do this show. I do hope, because they have the different talents talking, and if they want, to say what they want to say about Bray. But I was like, do they show? I wonder if they do a combination of some of his best matches, or his most memorable matches, and on top of like some matches on the show too. I don't know.
I saw that he was in a Nexus. Was he in a Nexus when you were there, or?
No, he was. So he was in Nexus after I got hurt with my ankle, and they in the group he came in, him and Joe Henning, Michael McGillicuddy. They then joined the Nexus after I was gone, after I'd got hurt in the group. Yeah. So we were never in it together on that, but we were in the group, known for being in the group.
I love that name, Husky Harris, man. Like, my mom's maiden name is Harris, so when I found out that he was Husky Harris, I was like, yo, that could have been me. Like, I feel like that name is like amazing. Like, I can't believe that gimmick didn't get over, Husky Harris.
He just wasn't, but it was for the best, because I mean, there was the.
Oh, of course, Bray was way better, obviously.
Yeah, but he went a whole different direction, man. Of like, I never knew him to like know, like, and he started getting all the tattoos and the different, like, and he had a whole other side to him that I never even knew that, like, he was able to tap into with all of that. And like, I always would know him as like their country boys, kind of,
like that artistic side, you mean?
Yeah, the artistic side and like the creative side of that he was able to tap into, and like, man, and truly just one of a kind character that will be forever remembered.
Some people have that artistic switch in them that you see it, like one of the guys in the chat, JG, he does the editing for the Major Pod, like on their videos. And like when he edits the videos, everybody knows, because it's so out of this world and awesome. Like, and he has the eye for like what people will pop for. And like, I always like, I love seeing people with artistic talent, because I don't have that talent.
Yeah.
And I like, it's like, I don't envy, like I do envy it in a sense, but I enjoy it because I don't have that ability to do those things,
Yeah.
So I love that. Bray or anybody who's artistic, I'm always blown away by it. Like, how did they come up with this? Or like, like how did they, like, because some things you don't know how things are going to be received, right?
Yeah.
So you just got to do it and go out there and see if people will like it. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, he took a chance, and like the fact that got as big as it got, like, I never would have guessed that. Like, it was just from what I knew him at, and like, but that's how developmental is. Like, we all go through our phases of trying different things, and then things just click and come together, man. And that whole thing clicked for him all the way with it. He was so, man, I remember too, like our pay-per-view match, I think it was at Payback in 2014 or 15. I think Payback 2015. And but like he was so good with his body. I think he did a splash, but he landed on his back on me on the outside, which is a really hard bump, but like it was like didn't feel a thing. Like, he was just so good with his body on like how to like disperse his body and not like hurt you. And like, cause he's a big guy, man. But he was so good in the ring with things. And he didn't have to do like the flips or anything like that. Like, he too damn big to be doing that stuff, but like he knew how to work. And like people, that's why I said, like, he understood psychology, he understood his character, and he knew how to work with other talents. And like I said, he was always, I found him to be very easy to work with.
This is my last question, big guy, and I'll let you go. But who do you think got the best? Like, how do I put this in a question? Like, out of all the people that passed away, who do you think got the best send off? Like, when it comes to like the next show after, and remembering them, and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't. So the one that comes to mind, because it depending for talents that are under contract there, they're always going to have a better send off with the company because they're under contract.
Yeah.
Like, and so when a talent that's there, and the guy, the people that are on TV currently, like the Owen Hart, the Eddie Guerrero, the Chris Benoit, and before they knew or revealed what had happened or what they thought had happened, and that, but like those guys all had, and you say like very memorable, touching send-offs with that, and very emotional. And this is what this may be the most emotional with it of them all. I don't know. This one is
definitely has the makes of it, right?
Yeah, I think it's something. I think they have an opportunity to do something really, really special for everyone with this, and I'm sure they, with the talents and everyone, and just I think just the stories alone, because there's going to be so many great stories of just like
it would be nice if they put the lights off and then have everybody
the fire, everyone with the phones, and
yes, like that would be really such a cool thing to do.
Shine maybe a spotlight on the rocking chair in the middle of the ring.
Oh yes,
that'd be
somebody
cool.
did that with one of the toy groups I'm in. Somebody did that with their toys. They put the hat on a rocking chair, and they took it of an empty picture without, you know what I mean, like him not sitting in it. That's a great idea.
I think that would be, and I'm sure they've already thought of something that they're going to just on that, just to kick off the show. And I personally hope they just have a lot of stories of people talking. Like I
agree. That's the best part.
Yeah, it's tough. Not everybody is comfortable getting emotional, or not everyone wants. But I think a lot of, out of respect, that's like today. Like I was like, "Fuck, do I do a show today?" And I was like, "Yeah, just talk about them and just share cool stories."
100%. That's the best way to celebrate somebody's life.
Yeah, and like because that, and too, I think a lot of people, like when you were saying earlier, how sometimes people can maybe some people will act negative or want to kind of whatever start going off on a different route with things. It's like all of us too, and there's all the different social media platforms. All of us that know them are just sharing everything on every platform because we want as many people talking about them as possible. We want everybody to know how much he was loved and how much he's going to be missed.
So big guy, have a happy weekend, brother. And
you too, buddy.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise, and I'll see you Monday. You have a great weekend.
Yes, you too, brother.
Thank you.
Later.
Good deal. Thank you, Shawnee. Get some calls here, guys. Bring Zygarde on. Welcome to the Ryback Show. Hello.
Oh, hey, Ryback. I finally got this hang of you. Sorry about that previous call because I was in a restaurant. The guy.
I couldn't hear. I'm sorry, you were cutting out. I can't. We're gonna have to. I don't know if it's the internet connection. I'm sorry, buddy. I could not hear you on that. Bring on Sven for see what he has. Hello. Sven, welcome to the Ryback Show. All right, can't get Sven on. Bring on Matthew. Matthew, welcome to the Ryback Show.
Hey, Ryback, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing okay for the most part.
What's on your mind today?
This really is really painful, you know.
I know, buddy. That is for everybody.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share my favorite moment of Bray Wyatt is when him and Alexa united together, and when they did the Firefly Funhouse together. That's a moment that will live on forever.
Yep, the great moment. He's got many of them, and he's going to be loved, and he's going to be remembered fondly by everyone.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments of his.
Thank you very much for sharing that, Matthew.
And there's so many more that I liked of his. It's just
We'll see it tonight. Should be a very memorable night to remember him by. So.
Yeah, I when I first heard this news, I broke down and I actually called about maybe about an hour or two ago, and
I'm sorry, buddy. Well, Matthew, thank you very much for sharing that. I'm going to get another person on to get some other people talk on here, and I hope you hang in there and you're watching tonight.
I will.
All right, buddy. You take care.
You too.
Thank you, Matthew. We'll get Derek. Welcome to the Ryback Show.
What's up, buddy?
Not much. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Ryback. How are you, man?
I'm as good as possible, bud. Thank you.
So what's going on, man? I just found out. I just got up. I just woke up and got right to the show, and I'm hearing this terrible, terrible tragedy. What happened?
By all accounts, was I guess from the things online he's been out since the beginning of the year with everything, and I don't know the specifics of the situation. There was that he had COVID or had gotten COVID, and there were heart issues going on, and in which that all had got released of the past few weeks that he was had some sort of life-threatening, career-threatening injury or illness, which was the heart situation. And then from what was explained online, he was cleared, I believe, 2 weeks ago, and everything, it looked like he was going to be making a return at some point, or at least cleared to. And yesterday, from what I understand, they found him passed away from, I guess, heart failure or heart attack.
Wow, what a blow, man.
Yeah. So I don't know the in-betweens of all of that. And so it's not like, for me, it doesn't seem real. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I know you were close to him.
And even if I didn't talk to him all the time, not being there, but when we were there, I was around him a lot, and he was a guy that if you talk to, it's like you just pick right up where you left off, and
Yeah.
So, but it's just disbelief, kind of, the whole thing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm in shock.
Yeah.
Wow.
But hopefully tonight they're going to do a tribute show or something.
They better.
Yeah. Oh, they will. I think he's under contract. It's different when the talent's not under contract. They typically, they're depending on your relationship with the company, how they handle things. But like, he was loved by everyone, and two, he was under contract, and they should do something really nice for him.
Yeah. SmackDown nice tonight. Hopefully Vince will do him good. I mean, you never know with that guy, though.
Yeah, I'm just going to choose to hope that they do the right thing tonight, and let everyone have an opportunity to say how they feel, and however they put that together. So, and I'm sure I wouldn't be shocked if I would like to see SmackDown and Raw. I think he's worthy of for both audiences. But
oh yeah, for sure, they better do something on both shows.
So but we'll let that just happen.
They should even do something on 2K for him.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to. I know they're donating the merchandise, all proceeds of his merchandise, which should hopefully do very well moving forward. Even though they've always done well, but just in light of everything and giving everything to the family, so which is that's a nice gesture. So
yeah, well, shit, man, I don't want to be a bummer anymore on the day. This day's already.
No, it's just we're just trying to just talk and share good memories of the show that I had with him. And I know another thing that I just remember, he always used to come up to me, and it wasn't just me. He would do it with multiple people. He always wanted to invest in into a business on the beach, and have a little. I can't remember the specifics. I just remember he always wanted. It was what are the deals out the Kawasaki, the jet skis. Not jet. What are those the deals that you ride on in the ocean or the lakes? The sea rock. The what?
Sea-Doos?
Yeah, something like that. Like he wanted to invest in a company with something with like different forms of like water transportation and like just retire on the beach. And like he would always pitch these ridiculous scenarios of like of us pitching our money together and like so we could all hang out on. But like ultimately, what he wanted the group of guys that he liked to hang around. He wanted us all to invest and live together on the beach. Like that was like kind of like his dream retirement, kind of like just kind of enjoy, you know what I mean? Like just to be around the guys that he liked. And it's just that he was such a good fucking guy, man. So,
that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
So, but it sucks. It's going to suck for a long time, but it was his time, and hopefully, we could find positives in this somehow. And I think he's going to go down, and I think history is going to be very kind to him of how, and he talked to, about his legacy and things. And I think he has cemented his legacy and his creativity and his stamp on pro wrestling forever. So
definitely, he's definitely one of the most creative,
which will inspire more creativity and more superstars in the future. So he did his job. So
all right, Ryback, man. Well, sheesh.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you very much for calling in.
You're a great guy, Ryback. Just keep going, bro.
Thank you, buddy.
One day, something will happen, man. Something will pan out.
Thank you very much. You take care.
And me and Shawnee will be there.
I love it. Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you. Bring on Jacoby. Let's see what he has to say. Welcome to the Ryback Show.
Holy shit. Okay. What's up, Ryback?
Not much. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's just been a somber couple days as a wrestling fan, as you can imagine. I mean, I can't really imagine what you're going through as someone who knew Bray Wyatt. My question to you is, do you have any any type of off-camera moments that you shared with Bray, or any type of fun interactions with him over the years?
Yeah, we talked about a bunch of things in the beginning of the show, just random different stories. And I'll think of more as we message other guys, different things just pop into your head randomly. Kind of like I remember that guy just telling the story about him he'd always come over and pitch the beachfront little gimmick business to try to like invest to get a group of us to pool together money to invest in a business on the beach for a retirement deal. But and then it was just, I'd have to go back and just thinking like we have interactions, positive interactions. Like I never had a bad interaction with him. Like there was never, even when we all like see each other all beat up and hurt, and like everybody has all their own stuff. Even if he was upset over something, he like never let it affect like the show, or let it affect how his effort or anything like that. He was always, he always liked to make people laugh and loved laughing. Like that's like I tell people I always migrated towards him and his brother. It's one of the reasons I get along with Dolph so well, is I just love laughing, man. And those guys, like they're just so innocent, and like they just enjoyed making people laugh, like true entertainers. He was a true entertainer, and like he took great pride in his work and everything that he did. And and you guys, everything you saw, so much time and effort went into all of that, and he had to overcome a lot, as everyone does that makes it in the WWE. Like nobody gets up there like, and it's just a smooth ride for the most part. Like you usually, especially like talents that come from developmental, like you've got to overcome some shit to make it. And like he overcame a lot of shit, man. And I just look forward to seeing what they put out with him. And I look forward to just hearing the other stories everybody else has with him. Cause that's what like me and the guys I'm talking to, we're just kind of just texting stories back and forth. One story will like trigger another story. And that's just kind of how handling it and choosing to try to think good thoughts about everything. And, fuck, it's just him and Luke gone. It's like you hear about wrestlers, my generation of guys, with everything with the drug testing policy and everything, wellness policy, and the guys, people could still drink and but like they're not doing the hard drugs and things like that. Like, so the business on that end, as far as there, is cleaned up a lot. As far as when you're there, and a lot of the guys, it's not the same as the past. Like I feel like with some of the problems that some of the talents had, but still, like, this business, just people go way too early, man. It's like, this is one of those, it's like him and Brody. Like, if you never in a fucking million years would I think like we'd be having this conversation at this point in time, but it's just, it's just in a state of disbelief kind of still. And it's going to be that way for a bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I really hope that they do him justice tonight on SmackDown. To be honest, I really hope that we get a good tribute show to him. And
I believe we will.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, man. I hope you get back in the ring very soon, man. I'm a big fan.
Thank you very much, Jacoby. You have a great day.
All righty, you too, man.
Take care. Good deal. Thank you very much. We'll get Michael on here. Michael, welcome to the Ryback Show. Michael, you just got to turn the speaker on the bottom left of the thing.
Gotcha.
How you doing?
Sorry about that. Hey, thanks for doing the show today. I think it's really important for a lot of our fans and, for everybody in the business that knew him and meant a lot to him. My question for you is, I just want to talk about in a day and age where it seems like, wrestlers' injuries are almost, public knowledge and, people speculate, but, for the rest of us in the real world, if something's wrong with us at work, it's kept very private. And,
yeah,
I think this was kept very private, but how important do you think it is, even, whatever condition people have in the business that, there's some sort of privacy that they still have and they can do what they need to do to get better. How important is that to you?
We live in a day and age where, and you've got the problem with this stuff is you've got the dirt sheet people in that have contacts within the business and where, unless something is, so speaking from like WWE, and like when I was there and they do this, you have to go through a series of heart tests and physicals and you have to routinely different times checkups and like they do lab work at various times and like they want to make sure people they don't want somebody out there wrestling that has a condition or so there are things done that is done very well for these things. I don't know Bray's prior medical history or anything like that, and it's just we live in a time in a day and age though where it's very difficult to keep anything completely private unless because like here's the deal like and say Bray had a heart condition and Vince and it was a phone call between him and Vince and and then Vince, they're a publicly traded company though and they have to make an announcement that there's Bray whatever but there's other people that are going to get in the know but then these dirt sheet people have contacts and the people on people why isn't Bray on the road and they've got to give information to well he has a health issue he's off the road for the next 4 months or whatever now instantly just whatever you say people are going to start looking into that in from the dirt sheet standpoint or the people that want to be the first they don't necessarily care about the health of any person and not to say that they can or can't but like they're just looking to get information out or be the first to have breaking news and you see that with all things NFL all sports with that I just think when people in the that are in that limelight on with that celebrity status and entertainers in general or sports figures and with social media it's not like the past where things were much more private that the health information is much more out there these days I don't know what will be very interesting to see what comes of this person this whole situation I think everyone sees the comments and the different things and like Shawnee I saw like and I'm just choosing to celebrate his life the fact of the matter and I was talking to Joe and we were just like we were just like whatever the fuck happened it's like our friend is fucking gone right so but there's going to be those people that are going to look into things and hopefully I'm sure as the autopsy and I'm sure that stuff will come out it's like right now it sucks our friend is gone and it's for the fans the guys that you guys loved watching but I think it's much more difficult to hide things these days than it was in the past with it. But that's going to be up to the family, if he had a prior medical condition or not. I don't know. He very well could have with that. I don't know anything to WWE. There's everyone's, I've seen all the vaccine talk and all that. We'll let other people handle that. I'm going to steer clear of that for now until I just know my friend is gone, and it sucks.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, big guy.
You're welcome, buddy. Thank you. We will get Patience on. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Ryback Show.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good. I remember talking to you last time, and I'm not as nervous now.
Oh, that's very good. What's on your mind today?
Oh, there's so much. I remember yesterday I got woken up actually about one of my old friends passing away.
I'm sorry.
It took me like all day to process it, and then when I found out like 4 hours later that Bray Wyatt died, all my emotions just like came out. I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. It's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't get told yourself from that person, it's hard to believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think why it hurt so much really is because I'm sure all the WWE fans nowadays probably watched them whenever he was in the Wyatt family or just running solo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I admired all of his work. I did. He's very creative. Wyatt family, The Fiend, Uncle Howdy, because I have a theory that Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas. And it would be really cool if like Bo Dallas came back with Alexa Bliss and they like continued his story. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah. I think that is, and I don't know what the status of Bo is. I was talking to Joe, and that was a private conversation about all that, but I don't know what's going to happen with all of that, or, this is going to be rough. I don't know how quick Bo is going to even be looking to want to even get back in the ring, or if he's ever even going to want to. I don't know. He may need a lot of time with that. That said, if that point comes, I think that would be, I personally would love to see Bo have, from a personal standpoint, I've always felt like he never got a fair shake, and he did very well at everything. Like the Bo Dallas character, I thought was always very entertaining. I got to work with him a lot, and he was very entertaining, and he can work, and he knows how to wrestle. And I would like to, I do think if his heart is in it, and I would love to see that. I think that's a great idea of him continuing as himself and as that character, and having the run and continuing on the legacy of Bray Wyatt in his own way. I think it would make a lot of people happy. And Bo, but at the end of the day, like for a lot of us, that stuff doesn't necessarily, it's being an opportunity to make money, to take care of our families, and and that stuff is fun and it's great, but like the business is very taxing and emotionally and physically, and they've already been through the ringer. Both of them were, and this is like, a lot of you guys don't understand that part of it. It's like, we'll have to wait and see where Bo's head is mentally with all of this. He may never want to fucking wrestle again. I don't know. So
right, I can't even imagine how he probably feels right now.
Yeah, I don't. That's why. So I don't know how quick that would be. Something that may be something that may be down the line. But I think just knowing them, like they're probably like Bo. It wouldn't shock me if he just chose to distance himself from the business. It wouldn't, just knowing, because like this stuff, like, because it like sometimes like he might not want to be reminded of this every day. Do you know what I mean?
Right. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either. Like, really, I think another fit, I know he wasn't in the Wyatt family for that long, but I think it'd be really cool if, like, Alexa Bliss, like, messed with Braun Strowman a little bit when he returns.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. I don't know where, Alexis, We'll just have to see. We'll have to see. I don't know. There's a lot that has to happen with everything.
But his family is taking this good, and I'm just glad that he's in a better place, of course.
Yeah, it's hopefully, and it was peaceful, and he's never gonna be forgotten though. So I think his legacy is gonna grow. I think as time goes on as well. So it's but this is a tough one. Like I said, I'm kind of it doesn't, it's even difficult being gone in a way. Like he was always one of the guys I was like looking forward to. I've got to see some of the guys over the years I hadn't seen in at like various meet and greets or different conventions randomly. Some of the guys I hadn't seen in quite some time that I always got along really well with. And it's like I was always looking forward to seeing Bray. It's been 7.5 years, and it doesn't feel like that long. But like I have not seen him in a very long time, and I was like, that was one of the guys I was like looking forward to, just seeing him, giving a big hug, and it's
Like just the other day, I remember talking to my dad, like, Bray Wyatt's gonna return. He's gonna dethrone Roman, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I believe it. But now I'm just like, damn. Now what's gonna happen?
Yeah. No, it's everything's cut short. I think that's a lot of people just from a wrestling standpoint. I think there was so much we all wanted to see because I think he intrigued all of us so much. It was like, what can he do next?
Right.
And so that's where it's kind of, but we're never going to get that again. But there is, if things work out with his brother and they're able to continue it, then, we could see some cool things. But just hopefully tonight is a very, very good send off. And it is what it is as far as like, I think tonight's going to be a very touching night.
I'm glad that Peacock released a 2-hour-long segment of Bray Wyatt's best moments in remembrance. I think that was a very good step.
Yeah, that is good that they did that, and I think tonight we'll have to. I'm hoping that people get to talk about them on the show, and they're usually they'll put together a good deal with this. I have no doubt.
Right.
So, well, Patience, thank you very much for calling in.
Of course, and thank you for having me on the show again.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Good deal. Thank you very much. She said Peacock had put that out. I have not seen that yet, but I believe that's on Peacock. That she said they put the best of the Bray Wyatt matches, a 2-hour deal on there. I'll have to check. I have not seen that personally yet, but she said that is on there, which wouldn't surprise me that they got that up. Yeah, some people saying there were so many rumors that Bray was probably going to be the one to finally defeat Roman. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the plans were for any of that. All that stuff kind of is secondary to everything going on. But get Rob on. Rob, good to see you again. Welcome back to the Ryback Show. Rob, are you there?
Big guy, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
Personally, very well, yeah. Got back late last night from being in Spain for a month, so I'm tanned and healthy, I think I told you, and been catching up with your shows in the evening there, and yeah, it's nice to obviously get back and get on and see how you guys are.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you're back. Yeah, no, man, just processing things as many are.
Yeah, that hit me out of nowhere. I literally got in the door and texts were coming in. I was like, what is going on? And yes, just sad. I think I haven't been this upset since Eddie passed, Eddie Guerrero. And there's reasons for that, which I can explain. Obviously, it's not nice losing anyone in our community. But the reason why I'm upset about Bray, the same as I was for Eddie, just meeting those guys, they just lit the room up, and spoke to you not just as like a fan, but as a friend. So I managed to get to speak to Bray for about 3 hours a couple of years back, because I'm friends with obviously his brother Bo,
Yep.
which I can't imagine what the family's going through at the moment.
Can't
So
either,
message them and everything, and he's just such a great guy. Just talking about horror and
it's just
wrestling
that
life,
sudden loss of like not. He's so young, and he's like you're just not. It makes it that much more difficult because I think there's so many elements of like the age and whether on our individual, whether you're a fan or you know him or we've worked with him. It's like there just feels like it's like the Kobe Bryant, the tragic passing. It's like it doesn't feel right. Like it's just like there's so much more for him to do in life, experience, have his family. Like how does he? It's one of these are the things that like I think it makes people question things at times, like with a man and the great guy and family with 4 daughters, and like you're like, why the fuck him, right? Like there's pieces of shit out there that are alive that like you they fucking doing stupid shit, and you're like, why this one? It doesn't make any sense, but
it doesn't. No, and life's not fair, is it? Sometimes, yeah. I have the same feelings as you. There's pieces of shit out there that's still on this earth, and we've lost so many great people.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense sometimes.
But our time, it's going to happen to all of us at some point in time, and that's why things like this. It's just reminders to. And I've read listened to a lot of different books on death, and I try to just. And it's always different when you lose someone that you truly, genuinely know and you're going to miss. But like to celebrate the good of their life and the memory, and to remember that each and every day like is a blessing and a gift that we get on this planet, and not to take like each day, like I say thank you. It's to when we get to, it's like it's one of the things, the phrases I always tell people, it's like it's not I have to, it's I get to. We get to wake up. We don't have to, we get to. And that is something that like this just reminds me of that more. Like every day I get to an opportunity to try to do my things that I'm trying to do for me to get back. I don't have to do anything. I get to. It's an opportunity because of the gift of health and life and being alive. And, so that these kinds of things always really reinforce that for me, where I just try to even be more grateful. And it sucks. Cause like I said, I'm just saying, like, not everything makes sense. But it was his time for whatever reason. And,
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not going to go over the same story. I've been on your show before and explained what I went through. But times like this, obviously, I tell people all the time, even before this, that if you have a passion or you enjoy something, just go do it to the full. That's why I go travel, go to music gigs, all the WrestleManias. When I got out of hospital, I made sure that was going to be what I did. And I'm just very emotional now at the moment, unfortunately.
I think it's. I was talking with, it was hard for me to talk to Joe Henning yesterday because, I handled things a little. I've always been pretty good at handling emotional situations, and I'll have my moments, when I'm not doing the show and whatnot. But like Joe was really having a really tough time processing it all, and it's like it's tough, man. And we all I said last night I sat outside with my dogs and just fucking took a hit of weed and went and sat out back and just sat out there and just looking at the sky, thinking it's like, fuck, man, it's crazy, and it's things don't make any sense. But it's just we gotta every day we gotta just try to be grateful and just really remember the good things and understand that like every day of life that we have is truly like it is a blessing, and our times is going to come for each and every one of us. And sometimes for some people, we see that ahead of time a little bit, and others shit like this that, just fucking middle of the day and your heart drops because it's like not the thing you were expecting to see.
No, as you said, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So you have to enjoy it and do the best you can. Obviously I'm going through all the tributes and stuff and trying to recover from travel, but I saw Miro's video and that was emotional, and The Rock obviously tweeting, and everyone just seemed to.
He's loved by everyone.
Just a great human being and kind, and such a unique and creative mind just for this business. I can understand why people like Taker and and everyone respected him. I saw your tribute, and I mean, what's kind of your best story with him? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you guys have been together before backstage.
Yeah, it's just it was from just the beginning. Like never a bad. Like we'd hang out by each other in developmental, and like whether we're practicing, because we'd always have something funny to say or laughing, and like they didn't take life too serious. Like they just liked having him and Bo. Like I say they, because I always hung around them a lot. Just fucking man, like they just loved life. Like they were just fun loving country boys, and he just loved to laugh. Like I didn't share. This is another story. This is a stupid one, but it just popped in my head. He after we were in Crystal River, Florida. Was it? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. It was not Crystal River. It was a town. I don't remember the specific name, but I remember Edge came back and wrestled, I think, or was there before he came back from his Achilles injury. And
another great night. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I just remember the building that we were in. I think it was like an armory type building in Florida. We used to run a lot of different armories, but I remember what it looked like. Bo and Taylor and Wyndham. Wyndham was in the fucking passenger seat. This is just the stupid shit that we would do with each other when, like, just to make each other laugh. After it was, the show was done. We've got the ring. Everyone got the ring back into the loading truck, and everybody was kind of going to their cars, getting ready to head home. Sometimes we'd all, like, guys would go get ready and go out, to go to a bar after a show. Not all the time, or go get a bite to eat. Other times, like some of the guys, we lived in the same apartment complex, but everyone kind of did. There was groups of people did different things. But I just remember this particular time, Wyndham, he goes, Skippy. They'd call me Skip. I was Skip Sheffield at the time. He goes, Skippy. And I was going back to my vehicle, and I go, well, he goes, get over here. And Taylor, they had the cars off, the lights off in the car, so it was dark in there. And so he goes, come over here, look at this. I couldn't. I go, what? Look at what? He goes, just fucking look at this. So I get all the way over to the passenger side, and I go, what am I fucking looking at? And then Taylor hits the fucking lights of the car, and Wyndham has his fucking nuts out of his pants, bulging out of his fucking pants, and everyone just busting up laughing. And then they fucking woo, and then fucking took off, like just stupid shit like that, man. That was just one the random, just funny shit. Like, just love to laugh, and like everybody has a million moments with him. And I've shared the ones earlier, but like he was just a pleasure to be around. Like, and this is why I talked about it like on the show, and when I tell you, like, you guys, like when the fake dirt sheets and the people put out the bullshit, and I try to tell you, I go, no, he's a great human being. And anyone who listens to this show knows I've talked about this several times with him, when they were putting out all the fake news on him when he was out with things. And I didn't know exactly. I just knew something was going on, but I wasn't going to. And I tried to like clarify, like, he's a great fucking guy. One thing I do wish, more wrestlers would speak up for wrestlers when bullshit is coming out rather than when they pass away. I do wish more of us, I wish more of us talked, like when dirt sheets are going after somebody and we know that it's fucking bullshit. I wish people would speak up more and go, no, this guy's a fucking great guy. Shut the fuck up. Like, with this is a lie. I wish more people did that. Like, not just before someone passed away with it, but like, I am happy, like with him, you guys are going to hear a million fucking great stories about Bray. Like, and it's like, but this is why I was saying months ago with the fake shit was coming out. It's fake. The guy's not difficult to work with. He's a fucking great human being. And it's like now, and I hope to God, everybody that was to do that or played a part in that really takes a good hard look in the mirror, man, and like think about what you're doing with human lives, like, because now he's fucking gone. So, and he's never going to be back.
That's it. And when I used to post about him a lot on my Facebook, I would get into full-blown arguments with people who were saying, "Oh no, he's difficult to work with. He won't do this." I was like, "No, that's not the case.
Not the case.
Why
at
do
all.
you believe everything out there?" It's the same with when I post about you, because I say I come onto your show, and about 8% of the people are like, "Oh, that's amazing. We can't wait to see him back," and all that. And there's always going to be these people that come and say, "Oh no, Ryback says this, Ryback says that." Have you actually spoken to him? Have you listened to his show? "Oh, we didn't know he had a show." Well, yeah, I wonder why you didn't know he had a show. Yeah. This is the link. Go watch him. Actually take the time and see what he's really like and stuff. And the same with Bray. Anyone that knew Bray and met him knew he was such a sweet guy and just easy to talk to. No effort. It's just ridiculous what gets put out there.
And that's where I was like, where I question like where this stuff comes from, and like people don't realize, but we have to see all this stuff. And like, I just, you imagine he's out with heart issues because he was out and everyone, and like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and he did a good job. He had his family and he stayed off social media quite a, he doesn't have the business. He's not on it like me and sees a lot of the things, but he saw enough. Right. It's like, man, just think of like, just imagine you're out and like with a heart issue, life or death situation. And you've got fucking the wrestling world questioning your fucking, you know, that you're difficult to work with or this. It's just like, or whatever the fuck is all the bullshit. And it's like, but that's why I hope more wrestlers speak up and learn to speak up against the dirt sheets and the people that are pushing lies out on the men and women that do this. Because the majority of people are great human beings. So
absolutely.
And he was one of the best, man. And I'm telling you guys are going to, tonight, I think you guys, everyone's going to see, you know, how fucking missed he's going to be. He was a strong fixture in the WWE brand for the last 10 years of like in that locker room and in the behind the scenes. And like, it's going to be it is personally, but professionally, it is a huge fucking blow to that company.
It is absolutely. And I'm so excited when he came back last year. I thought they did that perfect.
Yep. I texted him, brother. I told him, I knew he went through some, I just said, congratulations. And he, like, we had some really nice words back and forth. But I could just, he was so happy to have another chance to, you know, and I'm happy he got to go out and people got to see that promo and him kind of, you know, be a different, like more true version of himself, even if it was just in that one moment. But like, you know, those are the cool.
That's almost a year ago.
It's crazy to even think about that was a year ago almost. But you know, he loved wrestling like as we all do in that. But I just hope overall with all this, I really hope, like I really, and I talk about the dirt sheets and because I see all the bullshit, I really hope that some shit can get cleaned up with this moving forward, with this in general, with all the lies that get pushed out. Because like, man, these are real life human beings that do this, that love this. And, you know, and I think just more of us have to unite and stand up against these fucking people that are pushing out the lies, trying to create hate and negativity constantly for the talents. Because it's like he literally gave his life for fucking wrestling. So,
and he's left such a big impact in a short time as well. It's just his matches, promos, characters, everything. You know, it's very hard to come up with a unique gimmick in this industry when everything's been done before. But yourself, Bray, there's many other names that are able to do it because they've got the talent and mind. It's just it's been amazing to see what he's done over all the years. And
I agree, brother. He put together a body of work and it's going to live on and it's going to influence future pro wrestlers for sure. And he's going to be, that's why I said his legacy is just going to grow. It's so he's going to be missed, man. It doesn't feel real and it's not going to feel real for some time, but we've got to just find a way.
And what you said about the dirt sheets, I mean, Edge, who's a great guy as well, had to come out in his own personal time at home saying none of that's true about the contract dispute and all that.
So so who broke that first? Do you know who broke that first?
Wade Keller.
Yeah, and who I've had, he said things about me over the years that were false. I remember seeing when, like, just fucking, like, man, like, people should blackball these people, the dirt sheet people. That, like, the people that come out and put this shit, like, where the fuck are you coming from? Like, with that, like,
they just want to be opposed to a story, don't they? That's what the problem
that's all.
Well.
This is where I try to tell you guys, these people don't give a fuck about the men and women who do this and love this, because I really believe that most of them, and I'm not going to say every single one, but I believe most of them are insecure and jealous that they never could do this. So they have this hatred and jealousy towards all of us that can. And so they go, fuck it. Well, I'm just going to come up with whatever, because I'm being a good reporter. And they're just trying to get clicks and make money. They're literally making money. And so if they don't have a story, they have to make up a story to make money. And this is where I'm saying it takes a special kind of fucked up person to do that kind of work to begin with on it. But they're the problem. This is, I'm telling you, the Meltzers and all these people and all of them, these are the people that they are contributing to the hate of wrestling that we see online with a lot of fans. Because what do? A lot of fans go read an article or a negative article or an article taken out of context or a completely false article. they don't do any homework. They just react negatively and then go react to that person. They go read a fake article on Ryback or something not entirely true or taken out of context or written in a negative light, or on Bray on that he's difficult to work with. And then they they tweet, oh, fuck you, this blah, 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 blah. You suck, you piece of shit. And then but you see what I'm saying? So, like, if that article didn't exist, that person would not then act like that with it. But this is where I say this stuff has to get cleaned up on it. But the best thing is to do is block them and ignore them. But these people, I tell you guys, you got to be careful on the content you consume out there, because these people are fucking, we all refer, just so you guys understand, us in the business refer to them as parasites. We literally call them parasites to each other with it. We don't respect these people. We don't like these people. They don't care about us with it. And they're using you guys to get clicks and money on it. And then, so that's just, there's not a good relationship amongst the wrestling community. And a lot of the companies are playing to these people, some of the other companies, just so they could fucking be on favorable terms with them. But a lot of these people, a lot of the wrestlers don't have respect for these people. So.
And someone with common sense would be able to see that, but it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll get off in this tech, but I will mention this. Kayla Braxton, she's super sweet girl. She just put a joking tweet saying she didn't want to get up and go to the toilet because she kept being clumsy and falling over. And the next thing I see is that she's reporting, oh, Kayla Braxton likes to wet herself in bed. I was like, guys, shut up.
Yeah.
That's not what the post was about at all.
But that's just, they're parasites. They don't care. They're just trying to get clicks, and they don't care at any expense. So, but I think the people that did that, like, you guys are going to see anybody who reported, on the Bray stuff previously and lied. You got to look at that. We need to start. We're doing checks on the reporters on this stuff and calling these people out for the bullshit that they're saying when they do this with that, when something is especially as serious as what this was. So.
Absolutely, because it can affect your livelihood. Same with yourself and other wrestlers that feel like they've got a bad name when they haven't. Yeah, it's stupid.
But that's why I will continue to raise awareness on it. But today, we're remembering Bray, and just fucking, he's gonna be missed, man. So I thank you very much, though, for calling in.
No problem at all. Have a good evening, and we'll catch up soon. Okay.
You got it, buddy. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Good deal. Thank you very much, Rob. With that, guys, we've got to get wrapping up here. I've got to get a few things done, and I've got another feeding time video. I'll be talking more about Bray for the feeding time video for Monday. I've got to knock that out in a little bit. Get quite a few other things done with everything. But guys, hopefully SmackDown tonight, they do a nice deal with him. And I know that I saw they put a post. Bunch of people tagged me. WWE on Instagram they put a post up of Cena AAing me through the ambulance. They didn't tag me, though, conveniently, but they tagged John with it. But I made sure I went on there and made a comment on the post so that people can see. And my Instagram has gotten a lot more activity that people are seeing me on that. So but yeah, so that was good being on there. But the SmackDown tonight should be something special, I'm hoping, with Bray. And I appreciate all of you that called in and shared your thoughts. And Shawnee, as always, it was a nice conversation, and sharing some of my memories with Bray. And there's more that's going to pop in my head. Hopefully Monday's show, I've got some more stories for you guys with everything, and we could talk about the show and everything they do. But I think you're going to see the one thing is he was universally loved, and he's going to be forever missed. So he was, I truly loved working with him. Like, it makes me smile, the things and all the interactions that we had, and never a bad moment, never mad, never angry, never anything. Like, just fucking a sweetheart of a human being. And he is gone far too young. But I love you, brother. You're going to be greatly missed.